Hello, I'm Meg Benedicte, and I am here with my beautiful co-host, Manette Mays. Welcome,
Hey
Manette.
Meg, hi everybody.
And we're here on our New Earth Central podcast, and here we are, mid-year. Manette, we have gone through an entire 6 months already of this extraordinary year. This is a year of purification. We were talking about this earlier. What'd you say? It's the year of stripping down, isn't it?
Stripping us down. You got to let go of everything that's weighing you down. The way I describe it to people when I try to encourage them to forgive is the things, the programs, the systems, the operation systems of other people's thoughts and other people's feelings and the way the world works, all those random belief systems that don't really apply to your day-to-day life have to go. So if you were in a hot air balloon, those are the sandbags holding you down. The more of
Right.
them you let go, the higher you can fly, the more free you can feel.
Right.
And some of them seem so important. They were dyed in the wool program understanding of how the world worked that we inherited on every level in our DNA, in our childhood. Just because we inherited them or just because they don't serve us right now doesn't mean they were never useful. Those were for the time that we lived in then.
Mhm.
We live in a new time. The technology of our lifetime has increased and expanded and become elevated, just like the technology of everything else that we use. We don't even have landlines in our house
No,
anymore.
extraordinary
So
when you think about
the
it. Yeah.
world has changed. Our way of processing things have changed. The way that we communicate with each other. Look at all the social media, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok. We have access to each other in an unprecedented way.
And when we're talking about what has been leading up to kind of this breakthrough year, 'cause boys, and we're only halfway into it, is starting in late 2025 was the first outer, well, it was an asteroid now. We had thought Pluto was a planet, that made it an asteroid, but it started with Pluto moving into Aquarius. And all the outer signs and Chiron, another asteroid, were moving into new signs, literally back to back to back, 0 degrees entry point into all new signs. And if you know anything about a 0 degree moment, this is, think of it like it's the pause between the past and the future, right? It's the 0 point of new beginnings. And we have all these outer planets and Jupiter and Chiron all have moved into 0 degrees, into new signs. And so we've been in a way in that pause between the old world, the old life, as Manette mentioned, where we began this journey, right? And then going into this new, which we don't even really know what it's going to look like, do we?
Not at all. But I mean, it's a
Completely
beautiful
new.
thing. It's a beautiful. We have to be reset. Just like when our computer's acting up and we have to power it down and power it back up again, we're all being reset. I feel like it started around the same time as the pandemic, where because it hit the entire world at the same time. There was no one escaped the understanding of what was happening to, or what could possibly happen to all of us. And now I think we're forever changed
We are.
as a society,
We
as
are.
humanity.
We had a Pluto Saturn conjunction in Capricorn right as the pandemic began, or let's say maybe it contributed to the pandemic, but it was the first huge outer planet reset. And so when we talk about the outer planets, this is, we consider the inner planets more personal. The outer planets are typically generational. So, like, the whole 24 years, or whatever is that Pluto is in one sign, that kind of is, that sets the tone of that generation. Well, we just had all the outer planets go into new signs. So, this is now not just generational. This is everyone on the planet is being affected by this. This is planetary. This is even beyond planetary, probably. This is galactic. This is
Yeah.
universal. This is field mechanics that are being reset. And all of this has been leading up to what's coming in a couple days. So let's talk about what, right? That was just a, okay, now this weekend. bum, ba-dum, it's arriving, and it's gonna hold for a couple days where the outer planets move into 4 degrees and lock into a pattern at 4 degrees, 4 signs. And this is Pluto in Aquarius, this is Neptune in Aries, this is Uranus in Gemini, and then Jupiter and Leo joins the crowd and all land at 4 degrees this weekend, mid July, July 18th to about 20th, 21st is the peak of it. It's the height of it. And I'm not a trained astrologer, although I watch the transits. And more as a quantum activator, I watch patterns. I watch patterns and codes and systems, and kind of in a way, because the field is holographic, what type of timeline is that setting up? This event, the 4 degree, 4 planet link up here is what we consider a harmonic code. And we've been living in a system that has not been in harmony. So we've been living in a hierarchy. We call it the triangle, right? It's a top down power structure, like a triangle or a pyramid, but it's been a patriarchal triangle as well. So it hasn't been in harmony with nature. And it also hasn't been in harmony with what we call centropy, which is renewal and regeneration and growth, right? And expansion. It's been the opposite. It's been extracting. And
It is, but like you pull our attention to the triangle, so that fourth dot opens up the triangle, makes a square,
yeah,
right? And the
it makes a
square
square.
is home.
Squares home, and
Yeah.
in the platonic solids, it's the earth. It's the symbol of earth. It's the element of earth. This is also encoded in Metatron's cube, the platonic solids, uh, earth, square, the container, home, like you said, the kind of the structure, but it's the earthly structure, right? It's the earthly container. It's our physical bodies, right? It's our ability to be present in 3D, in the physical, but also contain the spiritual within. That's what I feel this 4 degree activation, this harmonic code that's activating, is going to help everyone on the planet, because it's not just generational, it's not just personal, it is planetary. Everyone is going to get hit with this if they like it or not. They're going to have this harmonic code come into the field. And if you're conscious of it, if you're aware of it, you can work with it. Not only is it the square, but in astrology, it is the 4th house, which is ruled by Cancer, Manette.
Yep.
Of
Back
mother.
to home, mom's lap, right? The nurturing energy we have to get ready for. It's going to land on everybody differently. It doesn't mean we're all going to be some kind of, magical, happy robots. It lands on everybody differently, depending on what they need to shift and what they're open to. And it's making that energy available where maybe
Yes.
it felt like it was far away before, where something else for us to share with each other.
It is creating, I guess you could say, it is creating a new planetary timeline. We've been calling it the new Earth for years. It is we could call it a parallel timeline that is not only now here and alive and active and growing. I feel this harmonic code and the 4 degrees is going to just exponentially spread it around the world. People want to feel safe. People want a home. People want, it's also the 4th house of Cancer's belonging. People want to belong. People don't want to be isolated or rejected or judged or all of this that's going on in the triangle. People want to feel included and feel supported. And this is not going to just be something we see, in let's say our government. This is everywhere. This is in our own energy. This is in our love relationships, our families, our communities. This is where we can create this type of circular regenerative way of being in teams in the corporate world. This is spreading. And of course, when we take it at the global level, we start to see more collaboration amongst countries, right? We aren't focusing on what makes us different. We're focusing on what is common with all of us.
Yeah,
The
mutual
four.
support is trending. Taking care of each other is trending. I love it.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed, right? Who would have guessed? And I think, like you described earlier, I think you and I were talking just before we started. The other part of that container is it's creating a container for us to bring heaven to earth.
Yes.
And that's one of my favorite things to say out of all the things that we
Yes.
talk about. That's the whole purpose of all of the ascension,
Yes.
internally in your body, in your being, and then consequently, as a symptom of us holding the love of heaven, the unconditional love of God and unity consciousness in our hearts, we can then make it manifest as an energy, as a life force on the planet for everybody, not just for some, not for the people who are doing this or that, or they're
Wow.
you just this is just and I harp on that word available because it's always everyone's choice. Their ascension is always their choice. We're just making it's getting easier. It's just not as difficult as it used to be. You know, when we used to go to the
Right.
library and you have to get that little card and find out the number, walk down the highway. We just lost all the millennials, by the way. But we walk down the hallway to find the book, and you find the book, and you have to read the book, and maybe it has the info in it you need, and maybe it doesn't. You have to get another book. You got to get 12 books, heavy books, big more than you can fit in your backpack to go do any particular term paper. And now we can literally pick up our phone and ask Google, hey, how high is the Empire State Building? Is it taller than Mount Everest? We have access to all of the known information in the world, and it's getting bigger every day, right? So we have to, as humans, begin to operate with that. What do we do with all of this information that we have? How do we use it to our benefit? Well, we get to move much faster. We get to back at like I said, even with the technology of transportation, you and I are not in the same state. We get to have a meeting together whenever we want to, and if I need to see you, I can jump on a plane. I don't even have to drive anymore. I can call Uber, someone come get me and take me to the airport. It's magical time, I think, that we live in.
Yes, just in our own lifetimes. If we have come
Yeah.
so far so fast, it's mind-boggling. And I do remember being in a college at UCLA, having to go to the library and getting all the books and seeing if you could find any bit of information that you needed for your term paper. It was
Mhm.
laborious and took so long. And now everything as a click on our phone. It's extraordinary. I think that has created a bonding we never had back then, because it was all limited to who was in your neighborhood. Now there's no limit. It's you can bond with someone across the planet. It does
Yeah.
not matter.
Yeah.
That is so well, it's a miracle to me because of where I started in life. Like it's just extraordinary that we can reach out to you from different parts of the country and now
Yeah.
different parts of the world. It's like
Yeah.
extraordinary.
And so with that, the benefit that I see in that is very intimidating, but by the same token, I think it's showing us that there are no walls between us
No.
as humans.
No.
There's nothing that can't be healed or traversed. None of your secrets are so dark that you have to hold them anymore. Not saying that we all want to know all the stuff, but we get to know, this thing happened to me when I was 3 years old. Well, you're seeing on the internet every single day. There's a whole bunch of other people that happened to. So you don't have to feel alone with
Yeah.
your wounds. You don't have to feel like they'll never heal. Every single day we see something fixed, transformed, made whole that couldn't have happened 100 years ago.
No. No. And we're, in our membership, we see where there are themes, kind of common, similar themes running in the whole group that we can focus on together. It's quite extraordinary. So part of what I think this year is showing us is that we're not separate from the field. This field unites all of us, right? It's this kind of interlocking lattice in the field that brings us together, links us up. We connect through quantum entanglement. We're always connected. It's extraordinary when you move beyond kind of the limits of just this 3D mind, right? The physical left brain, start to open up to more of the field of all existence, right? Into the non-physical realms. It's rich and vital and responding to us. And the more that we take advantage of that, then we begin to actively engage in what we are setting in motion coming into the world, and then what we're receiving back. I mean, we are transmitters and receivers, and so we start to actively live as one. Okay, I think I'm going to send love out today to this spot, or I'm going to send peace out to the world, or I'm going to put in motion my vision of a safe home or a loving relationship or a money flow of abundance, right? You begin to actively engage with the field this way. This is what I think this weekend's astrology is helping us with, this kind of harmonic code. It's like linking us up to the unseen, right? The metaphysical or the spiritual realms more than we could before. And then we begin to inhabit that, right? There's the four, the kind of the container. We begin to embody it. And then in a way, you're like this walking beam of quantum intention, and you're starting to send out and receive in, right? Send out and receive in. What an extraordinary way to live. And I feel that this event this weekend, not only is it highlighting that potential for everyone, but in a way, it's activating this harmonic light codes that we're able to really integrate and apply in our lives now. Think of it like kind of we've been in our we've been in our own energetic software, and we've been deprogramming all year, right? We've been stripping away the bad code, right? We're pulling out the distortion wave patterns, right? We're in here, right? We're digging around and we're clearing all this out so that we can actually run these light codes. We can run our soul codes. We come online now to our own soul signal broadcast in a way we've not been able to do before. And I'm very excited about that.
And when I visualize the squares we were talking about, the 4 degree, it feels like not only can we run it, we can hold it.
Yes.
Being able to hold it. I mean, I know most of us, we talk about joy, we talk about happy, we talk about bliss, but most of us can't really hold that for very long.
And that square is the geometry of embodiment itself. And so the more that you start to we work with Metatron's cube. We work with Metatron's cube. It has the platonic solids encoded in it, and it's activating this whole year. It's been activating the diamond grid, and this diamond grid is new to us. I think it was dormant, and this year turned it on with all the 0 degree events. It turned it on, and this diamond grid, it's made of so we're talking about the platonic solids. So we were just talking about the square, which is the container or the home for spirit. But also in the platonic solids is the tetrahedron, and a diamond forms molecules in a tetrahedron. And so we're watching this new grid turn on this year, and it's a diamond tetrahedron grid, and this is supporting our new square home container vessel for the soul to merge in. So that, think of it like this is foundational restructuring happening at the energetic level all around the planet. We will never be the same.
Have you seen the shifts in your clients, like in their ability to transform?
So fast. And also I've been getting new clients because the long-term clients are off and running. They're doing great. So I'm getting new clients, and then we in one session can go so fast into this state now where it would take me years before.
Yeah.
So extraordinarily fast now.
Good.
I get off an hour, hour and a half, and I'm like, wow, that
Yeah.
was intense and that was fast. And boy, did they move right with me. It's so not only are they showing up ready, like they've already done the meditations and the yoga and right, they show up now and I'm like, take me to this quantum level. They're ready. And poof, we just go.
Yeah. On a even on a level of, so I have, any number of people that I deal with that don't necessarily work. I'm not saying they're not doing personal work, but they're not doing it at an energetic or metaphysical level. The changes that I have witnessed in people and in situations from something that I noticed in the morning to literally the afternoon has shifted. They're not, I didn't do anything. I watched their perception of something at 8 o'clock in the morning. By 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's different, it's fixed, it's light, it's lovely. Whoa. It's been really, really interesting and good to see, just beautiful to see.
Yes. Yes.
So
This
beautiful
is the
to see that.
quickening,
Yeah.
Manette, that we've been talking about for years. It's happening. This is the quickening in the field.
Mhm.
It's the buffer fields that created a time drag. They're just thinning and we're moving into just always the now, no more time lag, time drag, instantaneous, fast.
Yeah. That's why I always liken it to like our internet connection. Like at first there was no internet, and now there's an internet. When you get the internet, remember everything you have to go through. I mean, we had a floppy disk you had to put in your computer, load that thing, which might take a whole day all by itself, right? And then you have to connect up the phone, and nobody can be talking on the phone. You probably get a different phone line, all that kind of stuff, right? You hear the squeak that goes on for
And
I
it
think
would
it takes 11,
grind.
12 minutes
Blah,
to
blah.
get online, period. And now everybody can just be online with the tap of a thumb or just kind of stay online as much as they want to. And that's how I feel with this spiritual work. I don't know how else to call it that we do, because when I first started working with you, even accessing source, the effort and the energy that it took for us to connect to source to get to what we needed to fix took some time. Maybe we spent the first 10, 15 minutes of the session just getting locked in to be able to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10, 15, 20 years ago, I started 30 years ago working with clients in the buffer field. The magnetic field was just so dense that I was always hitting up against it, try to get the light in, right? And get the energy moving and be able to try to access beyond the limits of time, get into more of the quantum state. It was a lot of work. And
Mhm.
that buffer field it's just disappearing. It's
Yeah.
just dissolving.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, as Manette and I always remind you, that means be careful what you think and what you focus on, because it can start to show up very quickly. That's a good thing though, because then you get immediate feedback, you get immediate reaction.
Immediate. If I could tell you guys a silly story. I was working last week and I had to take a break between, whatever I was doing on my desk. And I always keep my phone with me. My phone's ringing. And my friend says, "Hey, your phone's ringing. Do you need to get that?" And I look at the phone and I look at the area code. I got snotty. My little West LA came out. I said, "Oh, that's not important. That can't be important from that area code." Is what I said in my head. That can't possibly be that important. It's from that area code. It's not that big of a deal. Old snot. I don't even know where that thought came from. Just
That
like a
is
remnant from West
hilarious.
LA, right? So the next day, literally the next day, I needed to reach out to something in that area code. Had to call 2 or 3 places in that area code. Could not get a call back. Nobody from that area code would call me back. I ended up having to call Texas to get them to call that area code to get the thing set up, because I decided that area code wasn't worth my time.
Yeah.
So they decided, well, we're not worth your time. We're
Yeah.
not going to call you back.
You shut that door, girlfriend. That was the end.
So yes, that was just something that someone would consider a silly utterance. Someone would think that didn't matter. Hopefully I cleared that connection, but I closed the door. I completely did it. So And I know this silly, and I know that's small, and that might not sound like manifestation to most people, but that's the world I work in. And but that I call different area codes all the time. I
Yeah.
work with people in different countries and people in different states, and I have to call people all over the place. So for me not to be, to close that connection was a thing.
But we recognized it and you opened the door back up. And then that's where I would say more of kind of coming through the higher self mind or the spiritual awareness of how this is working in the field. We can immediately shift with that awareness
Yeah.
what we set in motion, and you open the door
Well, I was
back up.
happy to see how fast that was. I was happy to see, like, oh, wow, that didn't even take, that wasn't even 6 months later that I figured out what I messed up. It was the next day.
Well, I'll talk about immediate. I was online trying to pay a bill to someone who I felt was ripping me off, and I immediately get a phone call from my bank that someone is on my account right now trying to rip me off. And it was like that. I'm like, oh my God, you cannot make this up. That's how fast it can happen.
Yeah.
The good thing is then we can very fastly shut that down too, right? We can immediately, and that's really where we are trying to stay grounded and present and respond instead of deflect or just dissociate, right? Or ignore. We just are always awake, aware, conscious, responding to what's showing up. And then you become like the director of your symphony. That's what you become.
Well, it's
You
like
are.
our new work is awareness, right? Our new work is awareness, being aware of yourself. It all starts with ourselves. Had a lovely conversation with a again about how
Can you start over, Manette? We lost your video there for a second. You just start over your story. Oh, what does that mean? Manette recording will continue on a new track. Start a new recording for Met due to a change in their devices. What the heck?
I didn't do anything. You
I
sound
know
better.
you did it. You were just talking. But you're here now, so I say, and it's still recording. So go ahead and start. Let's see what happens.
You understand, a lovely conversation with people when we're talking about relationships, specifically marriages. And I was a little bit afraid, it's kind of like being on the edge of a diving board, to broach this subject in the company that I was in. I didn't know how it would be received, but about how all of our interactions with other people start with us. Self love, the amount of love you receive starts with how much you love yourself. The amount of respect you receive starts with how much you receive yourself. So historically we look at relationships and we think that, well, one person is being mean to this person, they're hurting that other person, and they should stop doing that, and then everything would be okay. But this person wouldn't be allowed to harm this person in any way if there wasn't some energy from this person that vibrated the same.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying this person is doing the same thing. This person may have no ill intent in their body, but something in their vibration is matching the vibration of the other person. So whenever we're trying to clear a relationship, we have to start with loving ourselves, respecting ourselves, forgiving ourselves. So if you're in a relationship and one person is being done sort of poorly and one person is doing the poor doing, the only way to fix it is for the person who wants to change. They start loving themselves more, one or two things is going to happen. Either this person will go away or this person will start to love you more. That's real. I know that sounds like an oversimplification, but when I look back over the stories, we can all see other people's things going on. And I've seen people who began to love themselves more, respect themselves more. Maybe they had to get out of a bad relationship and start to see themselves differently. And then the next one is better. Might not be perfect, but it'll be better than the one that they did before, if they do the work. Now, if you don't do any work, you're going to get the same thing all over again.
That's
but
right.
It does start with how much you value yourself, no matter what it is. It starts with you. Starts with me. Starts with her.
And just what you're describing is the mechanics of transmitting, receiving. So what you're transmitting out, you're receiving back in. Manette just described it, though, in a very practical way that show how it shows up in our relationships with others. They're like the mirror, right? That's our transmission is then being mirrored back from them. And so we have to change our transmission. We have to change our frequency. We have to change what we're sending out. Well, we call it our signal, what signal we're sending out. And that's when I started in this whole spiritual process over 30 years ago. I kept hearing, watch what's coming back at you, watch the feedback, right? Watch the mirror that's telling you what's running in you that isn't supporting you, or is actually limiting you, or even distorting the results, right? And so I was like, oh, and it's not that I've done anything wrong. It just means that's running in me from other sources. So it's been, as I said earlier, just getting in and cleaning up what got in from this life, from childhood, from past life, from ancestral lineage, from culture, religion. There's a whole lot that's gotten in here, right? So we get in there and go, is this mine? Okay. Is this resonate? No. Okay. Then I'm just going to clean it out. I'm just going to clear that out. That's how Quantum Access is such a great tool, because it's fast and it goes all the way to the molecular level, really begins to pull out with your intentions. This is your inner work. You are in there and you are intending to clear whatever is that frequency that you keep manifesting, and it makes you unhappy, right? You get in there and go, I don't want that anymore. I don't want to experience that anymore. Right? Let's get this out. And we, kind of come in kind of a full circle where we started. A lot of what we're getting in and we're removing and clearing came in from being born into kind of a top-down triangle hierarchical system. And there's scarcity programming in there. And there is very much kind of a dominant operating theme that we have to be silent and we just have to let it take from us. That's how the system is designed. And I really have hit up against that in my life, where I am silently letting people take from me. And that was kind of a big wake-up call for me. Wait a minute. That won't stop until I get in and clear that myself. Otherwise, in a way, I'm wide open, giving everyone permission to come in and take from me. So it's my job to get in and clear. This is a very common, typical, patriarchal, hierarchical, top-down triangle program that's running in us that we all need to kick to the curb. That needs to go.
Yeah, you're describing it's like a dominate or be dominated,
Yes.
right? That's kind of the thing.
Yes.
And it's not always, I think the reason it's always been so difficult to see that way is because it sounds like we're saying, if I curse people out, people will curse me out. That's not real. That's not what it looks like, right?
No.
I think I would never curse anybody out. Why is someone cursing me out?
Yeah. No.
So that's why, I mean, it's a vibration, and that's what the sensitive, and that's why the purpose of us getting together to do the work, I think, and the purpose of us coming in a group sometimes when we do our globals and we do our meditations, is that we're validating each other's energy and we're seeing each other. Like, I always say that
Yes.
the best heart surgeon can't do their own heart surgery. Someone has to come in and lend a hand. So
Yeah.
seeing each other operate, sharing our stories about how things are going for us is how we ultimately can heal those things that we can't see. Like you said, some of us has been part of our operating system for so long, we don't even know it's there.
No, it's running in the background. And that is why we love doing our global meditations and our membership, is because then we can be the mirror to you. We can show you that this is still in your field, it is still running, and it isn't for your highest good. And it also doesn't have to stay. We can remove it, and we'll show you how to move it and quickly remove it. I think as soon as you land on it and you become conscious of it, that's like 90% of it right there. We're just getting in and doing the mechanics of getting it out. But becoming aware, as we said, this is a big deal of what's happening right now, even with the global astrology and all, is we're moving to a higher level of awareness than we've ever had before. Conscious awareness on how we have been distorted and limited or locked down, and how we can free ourselves and liberate ourselves and move into what we call the new earth, which is why we call this the New Earth Central Podcast, move into this new timeline, this new earth, this new way of operating, the new renaissance, whatever you want to call it, all of above. It's very exciting, and it is something that, of course, is part of Manette and I's purpose, is to help bring it alive on the planet and bring people over and into it so they can also be living this heaven on earth. And then we have this profound moment that's coming up on July 18th. We'll be doing a global meditation. We'd love you to join us and step into the sacred circle with us and work with Metatron's cube, work with grounding to this diamond grid, get the light body lit up. This is a powerful moment to do it. And of course, because we're going to be in that 4-degree configuration, it's the pause moment to set your intentions for what you want to put into the field and receive, right? Transmit, receive. This is a moment that we can really do it very amplified, very powerful. We hope you can join us. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye for now.